Welcome to our second live stream here today in Kinnegad, and it's the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Championship quarter-finals. We have already seen Roscommon go through after beating Laois, and now we have Laois against Wicklow. You're looking at Wicklow, and they of course are in the blue and gold, or yellow, and Laois normally wear blue, but they are now in white. So Wicklow have won the toss there, I imagine, to wear their first choice jerseys. So it's Wicklow in those colours, and there's that's actually the Laois. I'm getting mixed up in the blues already. That's the Laois manager, Donny Brennan, and you see there now the white jerseys for Laois. Looking forward to an entertaining game, but then again, I did say that before the first game we expected goals, but it was quite defensive and ended up in a victory for Roscommon, but not the high-scoring games that we have been anticipating over the last few months. Elsewhere, Wexford have beaten Tyrone, so it's Wexford against Roscommon in the semi-finals. The winner of this one will play Clare or Longford, and I'm just checking the score to give it to you exactly right, but it finished, yeah, there's the result. Clare 3-11, Longford 4 points, so it will be Clare who are going very well against the winners of this game. We are close to the anthem, so the players are getting in position for that, and indeed there is the anthem. Well, that was a rousing rendition of Aron Levian, and the sun is out here, so the scene is set. Let's have a quick look at the teams, because Laois have one change, and it's a done deal, because number 7, Joyce Dunn, is being replaced by number 19, Clodagh Dunn. So done for done, but that's the only change for Laois that we know of so far. And other than that, it's a very familiar team to us over the last few months. Lovely attacking team, very attractive team to watch, one of the most attractive in the country. They score goals, they concede goals as well. In fact, they have scored 20 goals in 9 games, and they've conceded 28. Let's look at Wicklow then. Jackie Kinch in goals for them, a veteran player outfield, but she's now in goals. You have a Hogan at full back, you have a Hogan at full forward. Tinahely backboning this team, and watch out for the connection between two Tinahely players, Aoife Gorman at 11 and Laura Hogan at number 14. Between them, they have scored 3 goals in the last few championship games, and each time it's been Gorman setting it on a plate for Laura Hogan, and she has applied the finish. So Laura Hogan has 3 goals, all set up by Aoife Gorman from the same club. But also watch out for Maeve Deeney and Marie Keeley. Well, Amy Burke in the other corner got one of the goals of the season so far. We put it out on social media this morning. She's 2 goals in her campaign so far. So an intriguing game here, Laois against Wicklow, 2 teams from Leinster. And out in the middle you see number 15 in the white jersey, that is Sarah Ann Fitzgerald. It's a very common ploy for them at this stage that she comes out at least for the hot ball at the start of each half. And also out there number 11 for Wicklow, and that is Aoife Gorman, and she comes out and plays around the middle. Now we're underway, second game of the day here in Kinnegad. David Herson puts it up, and it's broken kindly there for Jane Moore for Laois, as I say, in the white, and that's Nairney trying to control that with the inside of her foot there, but it just bounced a little bit tricky, and I think the surface is maybe a little bit like that, although it looks perfect. And when you're out there, a lot of the players in the first game seem to have difficulty with the bounce. I'm not quite sure what that was about. Over carrying, free for Laois. We're in the stand here in Kinnegad, so we're very close to the supporters. They're very quiet at the minute. Fitzgerald She is staying around the middle for now, but she's given it to Fitzpatrick, and she loves to run from Fitz to Fitz. Fitzpatrick applying the finish, and that is the first score of the game for Laois. Well finished indeed. She got that brilliant goal against Tyrone in the last game, and she's got a point to start this one. Tyrone, by the way, now out of the championship, beaten by Wexford today. And Laois will know all about Wexford. I'll come to that. Let's go to the play. Wicklow managing to deal with that attack. Yeah, about a month ago, Laois and Wexford met in Portlaois. Laois leading by 11 points. Got beat after extra time. So Wexford and Laois still in the All-Ireland Championship. It's going to be Roscommon against Wexford in one of the semi-finals. Clare are through on the other side. The last place will be filled by one of these teams. Oh, and that one is given away straight to Fitzpatrick again. She scored 1 point. She's left it off expertly as well. Thought she might go for goal, but Emma Lawler takes her point, and that's a great start for Laois. 2 points to nil early in the game, and very sharp, very quick to capitalise there and to spread the ball around as well. I did say they're one of the most attractive forward teams in the country to watch, and you see that there. The goalkeeper Jackie Kinch sets the ball down. She'll want to settle things down. Now that's a poor enough kick out though. It went straight to Amy Potts, but she didn't know where the ball had gone. But Laois still get it, and they've lots of players over as well. And it is Fitzgerald. She might go for her own score. Gives it to Fitzpatrick. Oh my goodness, what a finish. Fitz to Fitz, and that certainly fits the bill. Sarah Ann Fitzgerald, Erin Fitzpatrick. Brilliant goal against Tyrone in the last round. She's done it again. After just 2.5 minutes, it is 1-2 to no score. Well, Wicklow rocked back on their heels by this start by Laois. Some of it has been their own doing, it has to be said. They've given the ball away quite a lot, Wicklow. But good running by these Laois forwards, as Shifra Havel is proving again, into the corner there to get possession. Gives it back to Nerney. It comes all the way out to Amy Potts. She's been around that area quite a bit, so she's obviously not playing in the traditional number 2 cornerback position. Feeds it into Lawler. 10 is Eva Galvin. Well, I did say it was quiet, but it's definitely gone quiet now apart from the Laois supporters. This is Ellen Healy. She also loves to get forward, tries to get her kick away, but a few players collided in there, and the referee will hold it up. I don't think anyone's too badly hurt, but it will hold the play up just for a minute. You see there on our low camera that there's just one player down, and she's getting up. 3.5 minutes in. 1-2 for Laois. No score for Wicklow. Great start for Laois, and it's actually Healy, of course, who went for that kick from the Portlaois club. Got a goal in that game I mentioned against Wexford last month. She does like to come forward, but wasn't able to profit on that occasion. So Kinch, the goalkeeper, and unusually one of her defenders is behind her. She takes it short, and this time gets it to Gorman. Now, Wicklow, shell-shocked by that start. 4 minutes it's taken them to get on the attack, really, but it is a good attack. There's players over here as well, and they've still got possession. This has been really well worked, and there's a chance here for Della Hunt, and she puts it over the bar. She likes an early score. She got a goal against Offaly early in the game, their first goal of the game, and she's got a point here for her team. So it's 1-2 to 1. Good attack for Wicklow. Really well worked. And that will give them some hope, not just getting a score, but the way that it was manufactured. There's a ball on the pitch, that's why we're having a small delay. Scoreboard actually has Laois 7-2 and Wicklow 1 point. They will correct that, I'm sure, very quickly. That's the scoreboard in the ground. Our scoreboard is correct. Oh, beautifully taken. And look at the way Laois attacks so quickly. Play off the shoulder, and such slick play as well. And Fitzgerald waiting there. And she is now looking to see who she can leave it off to, and she gives it to Lawler. There's always plenty of support though, and there is Healy up there to see what she can do. I said that she likes to get a score, and she has put that one wide. It's all started by the catch from the kick out by Jane Moore. Kick out straight up the middle, but straight to Laois. And actually a free given against a Laois defender there, and she's a little bit puzzled by that, but it's a Wicklow free, and they move it really quickly and get it into Laura Hogan, and she's got room here, and she might lay it off or go herself. She goes herself, lashes it over the bar. Might have been a goal on there, but she took her point, and that will do them right now to get back into this game. It makes it 1-2 to 2 points. Excellent kick out by Emer Barry. And she finds Amy Potts in lots of room. She is playing around the middle there, and they don't seem to have picked her up just yet. The other link player is Fitzgerald. She's always linking it up. This is Lawler. Oh my goodness, they're moving beautifully. Laois and Fitzgerald puts it over. They are ticking along very, very nicely. Laois 1-3 in the first 7 minutes of this game. Kinch just pumps this one up the middle. Beautifully taken again by Jane Moore. Wicklow players around her, but she plucked it out of the sky. Oh, it's a lovely ball into the full forward area from Nerney. It didn't quite stick though. But Laois forwards work so well together. And there's Fitzpatrick. Oh, what a beautiful ball over the top as well, and lashed to the net by Fitzgerald. Well, I did say the previous score fits the bill. That one definitely does as well. It was Fitzpatrick, the provider this time. She got that brilliant goal against Tyrone. And now look at this for a lovely little dink pass over the top. And the finish in the end was straightforward. 2-3 plays 2 points. Brilliant, brilliant start for Laois. Interception by Moore again. What a start she has made to the game for Laois, but Wicklow still have the ball. Wicklow will be thinking there's still hope in this game, even though they're so far behind after 8 minutes. 2-3 to 2, because Laois concede a lot as well. Maybe they'll have tightened up a bit more today though. Let's see what Wicklow can do. This is their number 2, Jackie Byrne, spreading the play. Wicklow, of course, won the All-Ireland Junior Championship last year, won in Croke Park. Less than half of that team available today though. Fishardi is gone, Laura Ahern is gone. Quite a few changes. And the Tinahely players in there as well. But intermediate is a different ball game to junior. Wicklow though have got to the quarterfinals, and they've done well to get this far. And they have some excellent players out there, but they haven't really shown too much so far. And that's one of the reasons why. Great defending from Laois. And now they will try to hit them on the break. And I notice off camera that Wicklow did not have spare players at the back. In fact, they are now outnumbered at the back. We're used to seeing games these days where defensive setups have more players, but Fitzpatrick is through again and left it off, and there's another goal chance, and there is another goal, and it's brilliantly finished by Emma Lawler. 3 goals, and we're inside 10 minutes. Laois are really, really on top here, and they are such a goal machine. You're assured of a goal fest. That's 23 goals for them now in 9 games and 10 minutes. And Wicklow left wondering what to do. Well, one thing might be to put a few more players back, but I guess they were committed to the attack, and now they're in a catch-22. Do they go forward? Do they sit back? Neither seems to be working for them. That's Gorman taking the quick free. Wind seems to have changed a little bit here as well. It seems to be in favour of Wicklow, going from left to right. They're trying to get in behind. A few players have gone into the square area. That is Della Hunt, but they don't get it through there. And the other number 9 is there. That's Moore. Still Wicklow have the ball though and get it out to Keeley. This is Hogan from distance. Brilliant block comes in though. And that sums up the way the game has been going so far. Wicklow just cannot get through. I think it was Ellen Healy with that fantastic block. This is Amy Potts trying to stop the run of Gorman, and they do stop the run of Gorman, and now they love to break quickly. We've seen examples of that already. They move it quickly. Erin Fitzpatrick, little 1-2 there with Galvin. They look up ahead, and there is room. A little soccer pass into Fitzgerald. She's scored 1 goal already, and she's been very influential, and leaves it off this time to Havel. And this is the full forward Lawler, and she keeps going and gets her point in the end. It's all too easy for Laois. "12 minutes gone, 3-4 to 2 points. Now, is there a chance here for Wicklow to get back into the game? They go for the crossfield diagonal, Laura Hogan, but it doesn't stick. And Aisling Donoher does well there, the fullback. Moore leaving it back, and Laois really in cruise control at the moment. Lots of room for Potts to go and collect that pass, even though it was a little bit wayward. This is Rachel Williams from the Sarsfields Club. They've brought the whole game down to their pace, Laois. They're very good on the break, but they're also good here at just keeping possession. Their forwards movement is first class. And the defenders, that's Williams again getting in there. They leave the ball off so well, and they take scores so well. And just as I say that, of course, they drop one in to the goalkeeper's arms. There's Lawler working back. And then Havel keeping Wicklow at bay. They come out this side to Hogan, who's come out from the full forward position. She scored 3 goals in the championship, but a long way from goal at the minute. Trying to get past Rachel Williams, but no way through. And that's Sarah Jane Winders, the captain, trying to find a way through, but no way through. Helena Dowling, number 7, and now this is Deanie. Maeve Deanie being pursued by Donoher, and it's going to be brought back for a free. 13.5 minutes gone. And Laois already in the driving seat. 11 points to the good. It's Dowling going crossfield. Gets it to Keeley. But Keeley is struggling to hold on to the ball. Actually, was it Deanie actually over on that far side, and getting the 12s and 13s mixed up. And the 15s, the numbers a little bit tricky to see. It's always the same when you've hooped jerseys. Actually, no, this is Deanie coming to take it. Just pumps it in there high. Looking for someone to get on the end of it. And the girl on the end of it was Keeley. But what a save by Emer Barry for Laois. Point blank, but she did so well, not just to stop it, but to hold on to it. Keeley, a scoring machine, certainly from a points point of view. She scored 38 points in the 2021 championship. One of the highest scorers in the entire championship. No goals though, and no goal there either. This is Jane Moore leaving it off. Oh, they're working this so well, and it's Nairney. Goes for a 4th goal, just comes off the crossbar and goes over. Laois on easy street, 3-5 to 2 points. And they are cutting through at will. You see it again. And they've so many forwards who can do this, and that was so nearly a 4th goal. And the kick out has gone straight to Fitzpatrick, and Erin Fitzpatrick off on a run again. Leaves it to Fitzgerald. They come back across. Wicklow must be thinking at this point that Laois have 3 or 4 extra forwards on the field, but they do repel that particular attack and now get it to Laura Hogan. She immediately looks to play it quickly, and that is a good ball. It's been intercepted. No, it hasn't. It's broken kindly for Keeley. They need a goal, even at this early stage, or a point will do, I guess, but they do get a point. moved the ball really quickly there and they profited. It's their 3rd point of the game. Still a long way back though. Neve, or rather Anna Healy, number 8 for Laois. Wicklow managed to turn it over. Dowling gets it back to McGettigan. Neve McGettigan is 8 for Wicklow. Hogan saying an awful lot of ball. Leaves it off to Gorman. As I said earlier, those two have created a lot of goals, but it's usually been Gorman on the run, leaving it off to Hogan, but Hogan playing a lot deeper. She gets it now. Keeley is the player inside on the edge of the square, but she's been well followed by the number 19 who's in there now, but now Delahunt is there. She's found a little bit of space, leaves it off for Hogan, but the challenge comes in by the fullback, and that is Aisling Donoghue, who got in the way at the right time. That's great defensive work again by Laois. And again, they break swiftly. They always seem to find a little bit of room. They have runners and they move it so nicely and so quickly. Very hard for the defence, and there's a lovely ball in again. Forwards are going to love that kind of a ball. Look at the movement, it's so good. And here is Fitzgerald at the end of it, going for another goal, but Kinch this time saves it. It was straight at her. But the threat there so many times in this game. Could have been 5 goals, as it is, it's 3. That's Gorman, being held up by Healy. And the fizz gone out of this game already. You can feel it from the crowd around us here in the stand in Kinnegad. Can Dini do something about that? She's been so well marshalled so far. Fouled again though, and it is a free, but Laois will be happy enough with that. 18 minutes gone, they've only conceded 3 points. And only the 1 goal chance, and that was from a high hit and hope ball. Oh, and the free goes straight to Laois, to Fitzpatrick. And every time they break, you're almost anticipating a goal. Sarah Ann Fitzgerald from the Portlaoise club, so often in the middle of it. Look at the movement again. Nairney pops up on the left, sometimes on the right, on that left foot, drops it in. And she's put it to the right and she's put it wide. And Laois, even though they lead by 3-5 to 3, they've been wasteful. Kinch, where can she go with this one? Ends up going straight up the middle, and that's not a bad idea because it goes to Delahunt, but she just couldn't grab it, and that sort of sums up the way the game has gone so far for Wicklow. They just can't do the simple things right. It's more difficult when you're behind to do the simple things, and that is what Laois are doing all of the time, and Wicklow are in a lot of bother out there. Confidence, obviously a huge problem for them, not for Laois. 3-6 to 3. Actually, the scoreboard on the ground has it at 3-5 for 3, so we have a 1 point difference there. We'll try and clarify that, but maybe Wicklow will add to their tally. This is Hogan. Goes herself, backs herself, and puts it over, and they do add to their score. They go to 4 points. Wicklow 4 points, and that gets a small ripple of applause. We have it 3-6 to 4 for Laois, and the scoreboard on the ground has it 3-5 to 4. We'll check it with the referee in about 10 minutes. Definitely Laois well ahead. It's good tackling there from, I think that was Shauna Gottelin for Wicklow, and it means now that Dini has the ball. Dini tries to get it to Keeley, but great defending again. That's the captain. That's Amy Kelly from the St Conleth's club, number 4 for Laois. Getting out in front there and nullifying that danger. Foul there by Niamh McGettigan. Ellen Healy getting involved, then Jane Moore, then Anna Healy, Moore again. This is the way they do it. Move it so quickly, and players going diagonally on the run and then playing lovely little passes like that, little dink passes, but the referee actually is going to bring it back to a free just as the number 11, Shifra Havel, was about to pull the trigger. 21 minutes gone then, 3-6 to 4 points for Laois. This is Emma Lawler. Steps inside, good connection, but just to the right, I fancy, or am I wrong? No, it's just to the right indeed, and another wide for Laois. It's quite remarkable that they could even be a lot further ahead than this. Jackie Kinch looks for options, but again just ends up putting it up the middle, and again Laois win it. Ellen Healy got there. She gets fouled, so free for Laois. See one or two umbrellas up here. There must be a little skiff of rain in the air. I wonder in this break of play, by the way, if we can see the linesperson on the far side of the pitch. The referee is in that shot. That's David Herson. But the linesperson on the far side, some of you may recognise. She's over by the dugout on the left-hand side, and it's no, not him. That's the fourth official over to the left, and it is Jackie Mulligan. We'll find her. Sligo player for many years, of course, and only retired in the last year. So brilliant player, brilliant cornerback, and she's now joined the Learn to Lead program in the LGFA, and that's why she's here today. And we had Ciara Gilroy yesterday, and we had Emma Murphy and co-commentary earlier. So that course is really proving beneficial for a lot of people, and we see that today. Kinch coming out of her goals, well used to playing outfield, and she heads off up the field and then realises, oh yeah, I'm a goalkeeper now, so she goes back. May get the ball again here though, because Niamh Cullen's done a little bit of bother, because Laois are applying a lot of pressure. Now this is their cornerback Lucy Dunn. A lot of room in front of her. Off camera, Laois have a sweeper in there, and that is Ellen Healy. And that's Lucy Dunn being held up, so they didn't get that far, and there's a substitution being made, and I presume it's for Laois. They have to do something, and I wonder what the change is. There's some numbers there. Is that a 25 for 12? I think it is, which would, or Wicklow actually, I should say, are going to make a change obviously. And or is it 10? No. Trying to see who's gone off. Would that be Maeve Deeney? And yeah, Maeve Deeney looks to have gone off, and I wonder, is that tactical, or does she have an injury? 25 for Wicklow is Clodagh Fox from St Patrick's. So that's a bit of a surprise. Wicklow losing Maeve Deeney, or replacing Maeve Deeney. She goes right back to their 2011 All-Ireland final win in Croke Park. Plays for Thomas Davis in Dublin, and has been having a good season, but they've replaced her after 24 minutes. Also scored 1-4 in the All-Ireland final last year against Antrim, but Deeney has gone. Laois on the run again, and it's Potts, the cornerback, into Nerney. Lovely transfer, and it's Fitzpatrick, and Aaron doesn't get the boot round that one, but you saw the threat again and the way that they move again. So impressive, but just not the finish that time. 3-6 plays 4. 11-point lead for Laois, and dare I say it, Laois people won't like me reminding them, but they had an 11-point lead against Wexford and lost. Don't see that happening today. I think Laois have learned an awful lot from that day and have come back stronger. Fitzgerald got a boot to it, but as we saw in the Dublin Mayo game last night, that almost always ends up in a free. You have to be careful putting the boot in there if there's a hand there. Saw it in the first game today as well, actually. This is Gorman trying to knit something together for Wicklow, trying to make something happen before half time to try and give them a little bit of hope. They spread the ball out here to Jackie Byrne from Baltinglass. And look at the room that she has. She slips it in to the sub who's come on, that's Fox. Fox being shepherded down the right by Healy, comes inside, having to do it all herself, eventually leaves it off to Keeley, and her shot is instinctive, but it's off target. Emer Barry, the goalkeeper, 3.5 minutes to half time, and she doesn't wait for Ellen Healy to get her laces tied, instead gives it to Dunn. Fitzpatrick, I'm not sure the pass was meant for her, I think it was for Williams, but those things go for you when you're 11 points up. And again, you see another example of that. It bounces kindly for Laois and they take advantage. Oh my goodness, they love to apply the killer touch, and just at the final moment the pass is a little bit astray, but there's still a chance here for Fitzgerald, and you might even get a goal out of it. Shot comes in low and it has ended up in the net, and you have to feel for Wicklow at this point. Havel is now got on the score sheet, 4th goal, and it just seems like everything is running for Laois. 4-6 to 4 points, 27 minutes gone. Lovely catch again by Moore. I think that's her 3rd she's made from kickouts from either end. She's having a big influence in the game. Ellen Healy now. All the time in the world. This is Anna Healy, no relation, and the Healy's just playing around here and trying to draw Wicklow out. Now Amy Potts. She's made a lot of things happen today and doesn't seem to have been picked up at all. Ellen Healy started this, she might finish it, kick goes low, and it's an over-carrying decision against Laois. So Clare awaiting the winners of this, and at the minute it looks like Laois, oh hold on, Nairney might capitalise here from that wayward ball. Wicklow at 6s and 7s. Healy once again involves so much, lays it off, and there's room here for Rachel Williams, and she takes her score expertly as well. She doesn't often get on the score sheet, she watches all of her expert forwards get on it, but she got on there at the end of that one, put it straight over, and after 29 minutes they now stretch it to 4-7 to 4. Aoife Gorman now for Wicklow. She hasn't often had room to run into. She does now. With Healy coming over to close the gap a little bit, so they come back out to Hogan, and there's another pass that goes astray. And it's Wicklow again giving the ball away, and then Laois moving it very, very quickly. This is Emma Lawler. Taking her time, coming up to half time, just about 20 seconds left in the second half. Nairney takes the kick at the end of it. Oh my goodness, it's like a training match for Laois. It's been such an impressive first half for them. It really has looked like intermediate against junior, and Wicklow were junior last year. They have come on a lot this year. I mean, they beat Leitrim 3-10 to 3-9, and they beat Offaly as well a few weeks ago. But today, it's all unravelling. Hogan moves it quickly. She's certainly not giving up at all. Hogan's been their best player in the first half, and this has been the substitute they've had to bring in. Been closely chased by Donoghue, but Fox gets it away and gets it back to Laura Hogan. Fox now a little bit of room and takes her point expertly as well, and that's much, much better from Wicklow, and the crowd in the stand here enjoyed that and appreciated that. But It's been too few and far between for Wicklow. We are in injury time, out of time at the end of the first half, and it's 4-8 plays 5. That's 20 against 5. 15-point lead. I'm not sure Laois even would have expected this in their wildest dreams. And if you look at some of their scores so far, Laois have been big scorers, mind you, but they have scored 2-12 in the championship, 2-5, 5-19, 4-14 and 3-14 against Tyrone a few weeks ago. And they're already up to 4-8, and we're only getting to half-time, and they're not finished yet. And this is Moore. She's bottled up there and still manages to hold possession, but is penalised for rolling the ball on the ground. So in the championship, in 5 games so far, Laois have scored 4, 9 and 7, 16 goals in the championship so far. That's including the Leinster Championship. So that's 5 games, and then today add on another 4, and they're not finished. But Hogan now for Wicklow, and I think the referee says you bounced twice in a row there. And Wicklow just cannot get going. Yeah, free for Laois. 33rd minute of the first half, and Wicklow just want this half to end, and it has just ended. But it's 4-8 to 5 points. 15 points in it for Laois. A devastating attacking display by them in the first half, and Wicklow just need to get into that dressing room. We'll see in about 10 minutes or so if the break makes any difference at all, but they look a little bit shell-shocked, and you have to give credit to Laois for their superb play right through the pitch, not just the attacking but the defence and the way they break. They have been so impressive, and at the minute it's they who will be going forward to play Clare in the semi-finals, but there's another half, so we can't say that just yet. There may be a kick yet from Wicklow, but for now from Kinnegad we're going to take a break, and we'll be back for the start of the second half. One change for the second half, and it's Eva Galvin who's gone off for Laois. That's the number 10 from St. Conless. And I'll catch up with my breath, and I'll catch up with the replacement in a second. Just trying to check the numbers around the field. I'll get that for you in a second. 4-8 to 5, 15-point lead for Laois. What can Wicklow do about it in the second half? Well, they don't get it from the hop, and that's because Sarah Ann Fitzgerald gets it. And they're stumbling their way forward. They always seem to find a way in the first half, and they found a way in the game again, and that's the start of another move, and that's Nerney who's brought down there. It ends up in the net, but the keeper is going to bring that, or the referee is going to bring that one back for a free in, and it looks like Nerney will take that herself. Makes it 4-9 to 5 points, and Laois picking up where they left off. Really interesting off camera. Now Kinch here with the kick out. Goes long again up the middle. Brilliantly caught by Ellen Healy. What a young star of the game that she is. Brilliant play all round, and another super catch. Just looking off camera, 3 of the Laois players, the defenders, just when the kick out was about to be taken, they sprinted away from their players. And they definitely have a system there, and they know exactly what each other is doing. And that's really what you need at this level and at this stage of the season. It was the same with Roscommon in the first game. They won that. And that's why Roscommon are through to play Wexford. And this side of the draw, it's Clare who are through, and they will play the winners of this game. This is Aoife Gorman now for Wicklow, running solo on her own, but can she get anywhere with it? She's still got possession, but she needs a bit of help. Finds it from her midfielder, Niamh McGettigan. And that was nearly an interesting ball there to Clodagh Fox, but This is now Fitzpatrick. She scored a goal from exactly here against Tyrone, and she's going on a similar run. She's still a long way from goal, and this time she's going to pass it instead over the top, looking for Nerney, and it drops down nicely instead for Lawler. But Wicklow managed to repel that attack. Free out indeed for Wicklow. 17 is on for Laois. I told you I'd pick it up eventually. Laura Marie Maher from the Sarsfields Club. She has come in at half time. That's Winders, the captain, doing well. That's a foul by Fitzgerald. Referee immediately goes to his book. He's going to tick for that, but he lets the play go on. That's good refereeing and leaves it for Wicklow to benefit and profit. And there's the number 25 for Wicklow in there. That is Clodagh Fox, who came on in the first half for Maeve Deany. Now Gorman looked to have a little bit of room there and eventually puts it over herself and does really well. That's good determined play by her. In previous games she has done that kind of run and then left it off for Laura Hogan to score goals. In fact, they've had 3 goals from that in the last few games, but nothing like it today. 1 point each in the second half. Crowd beside me not happy with that one, but play goes on. It's Fitzpatrick battling for it and gets her free. Looks at her options, and in the full forward area there, it's one-on-one in there if they can get in, and that's been part of the problem today for Wicklow. They just have played woman-on-woman in there, and it just hasn't worked for them. They haven't gone for the defensive sweeper system that we see so much. There's Fitzpatrick now through though, and she drives it at the keeper, straight at the keeper, and Kinch just blocks it away, and it goes wide in the end. But already at the start of the second half, 2 more goal threats from Laois. You'll see it again here, intricate play. They come inside, and Fitzpatrick straight at the keeper. Now this is Hogan. Seems to be playing deeper and deeper. McGettigan, that's a good ball from her. They find a little pocket of room in behind, forcing Laois to get back, and they are rushing to get back, and they managed to get back, and it was Anna Healy who raced to get back there, and then she broke it, and it's Laois now who will try to counter. But lots of Wicklow players in this part of the field. Fitzpatrick goes in that familiar direct running style, and on her left foot drops it into the keeper's arms. Wicklow showing good determination to try and get up the field, but Nerney tackling back really well. Gives away a free in the end, but she's held up the attack, and all managers and defenders love to see forwards tackling back like that. Gorman though goes off on another solo run. She does this a lot, but she's been followed closely by Anna Healy and is forced to come back. And that's kind of been the story of the game. Laois have really done their homework. Fox does a little Sinead Ahern solo trick there. Comes inside to McGettigan, and the referee is going to give a free in for Wicklow. It's got quite dark here after all the sunshine in Kinnegad. Marie Keeley, it's dropping in short, and the referee says free out, square ball. No signs of a miraculous comeback yet from Wicklow. Just the 6 points they have scored, 1 in the second half. Laois meanwhile with Amy Potts. Go forward again. A little bit of room out here, but there's a good block. That's much better, and that's Amy Burke showing a good bit of fight there. I think I might have mixed her up in the first half over on that far side. I couldn't see the difference between the 13 and the 15. Apologies to Amy Burke for that. Oh, that's good defending. That's much better. I think that was Sarah Hogan. Wicklow are showing a little bit of fight. Maybe there is a comeback in them yet, and maybe that will inspire them. That's great play as well by Fox to get in there bravely and leave it off to Laura Hogan. Laura's got 3 or 4 Laois jerseys around her, and indeed it's Nerney who gets a hand to it and they turn it over. Wicklow just can't keep up with this Laois team. They're just too hot for them. Now that one spills away from Maher, which means that Wicklow can clear, but they don't clear successfully, and that was Jackie Byrne there who didn't manage to clear her lines, and Nerney manages to get it again and just composes herself. Sees a little bit of movement there and tried to thread it through, and has threaded it through to Fitzgerald. Now the kick comes in. I think she got a point in the first half. She might have been going for another one. Seemed to be a push off the ball there, but the referee says no, and that sometimes gets missed in games in the frenetic nature of ladies Gaelic football. There was one yesterday on Amy Mackin in the Armagh game that I looked back at last night, and it was a clear, shall we say, shielding off the ball. Now Wicklow with Laura Hogan from Tinnahealy. She's certainly given it everything today, but they're just not on the same page. She was trying to get that through for Keeley, but Keeley had made a run one way and the ball went the other. Crowd doing their best to inspire Wicklow, but they just can't get their hands on the ball at the minute. It's Moore making an uncharacteristic mistake there, a little bit sloppy there, but she's been excellent in the game so far. This is Niamh Cullen for Wicklow from Blessington, and this is Shanna Gottelin from Tinnahealy giving it back to Cullen. Laura Hogan fires it into the corner. A little bit of room here for Fox. She needs help, and it's Hogan who's coming to try and help her, to try and get the ball off her. They need more players to get involved here, but look, it just doesn't flow as well as it is for Laois. But still, Fox is there, and so is Helena Dowling. And eventually, Laois's defenders prevail, and that's good work by the captain, Kelly. Good interception by Sarah Jane Winders, the captain of Wicklow. And Wicklow will try again. They trail 4-9 to 6, 9 minutes into the second half. This is Godlin again. The movement is from Hogan, but she looked to be blocked off a little bit there. She claimed a free, doesn't get it. Maybe it was a little bit too intricate. Kelly assesses her options, and there aren't many. Fizz has gone out of the game a little bit, and Laois not working quite as hard. They just don't have to. And that's Havel with a lovely ball into her captain. Nerney goes cross field, and it's beautifully taken. And let's see, number 8 Healy. Oh, what fabulous football. This is so stylish. Oh my goodness, she didn't get the goal in the end, which would have sealed a lovely move, but Jackie Kinch did well to hold her ground, and she's done that a few times in the second half. 3 goal chances for Laois in the second half, and they haven't taken them. Gottelin puts it into the corner towards Hogan, and Laura Hogan speeds off towards goal, tries to get rid of Potts. She's still there, being a nuisance to her, but she leaves it off instead, and this is Della Hunt, and that kick looks like it might be just to the right, and indeed it's gone wide. Such a frustrating day for Wicklow, so unlucky, and nothing is going right for them. Rain coming down heavily again. It's been a day of showers in Kinnegad. Laois building again. Direct ball intercepted by Winders again. Out in front of Fitzgerald, but they now scrap for it, and Fitzgerald wins that one. Leaves it off to Fitzpatrick. Off she goes again with that Diagonal run, leaves it off. There could be a goal here. Nerney's on the end of it. Oh my goodness, it is champagne football from Laois today. That is 5 goals, a 5-star performance. They are heading in to the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate semi-finals. They will play Clare, and what a game that will be, because Laois are looking absolutely supreme today. They will be a big threat in that game. That ball given straight back to Jane Moore, to Fitzpatrick. That's a nice ball in again, and a lovely turn as well, and kick, and it drops over the bar from the substitute who came in, and that is Laurie Marie Maher, and it's another point for Laois, and it's turning out to be a very, very long afternoon for Wicklow. It's 5-10 to 6 points. Kinch drives it down the middle, but Laois are going to pick that up in the game. Pick that up again. 42.5 minutes gone. Anna Healy, Fitzgerald, they're looking for more goals. They're not finished yet, and that's good work by the full forward. Lawler goes low. She might have been trying to go high, but it went low. Now the goalkeeper Kinch coming out and wants the return as well. And she gets the return. Jackie Kinch leading the charge for her team. Under pressure, but does really, really well. Trying to inspire the outfield players. Doesn't need to inspire Laura Hogan. She's been fantastic. She has led the charge further up the field, but Amy Potts gets a hand in. And they just have had Wicklow's number all day long. And look at the room now that's left in behind, and Fitzgerald to Healy. They've had so much ball today right from the start, but that one goes to the left and wide. Jackie Kinch goes short, nearly intercepted though. And they managed to come out of there in the end, Wicklow. But under so much pressure from the front, and that's a sign of a good team when they don't let you get out at all. Godolin drives forward. Really good play by her, leaves it off to Keeley. They go for the quick transfer, but it's well read yet again by the captain, Kelly. Laois so much on top here. McGettigan gets in to win that ball back for her team. Now, what can Fox do? Has to leave it off and does so to Keeley, and that should be a point, and it is a point for Wicklow. And that makes it 5-10 to 7, and we have a couple of subs coming on now for Wicklow, and they do need a few changes, to be fair. Some fresh legs will be welcome. I think it's 19 again. It's a bit far from me, and the yellow hook makes the number a little bit difficult to read, but I think it's 19 coming in, and that will be Shiva Byrne from Valleymount. Number 9's going off.
Number 19,
that is Della Hunt.
Number 7, Helena Dowling.
And Helena Dowling going off as well. And who's the other sub now? There's one other sub who's come on. And it looks like a couple of substitutions for Laois as well. And Havel is going off, and Amy Potts is going off for them. It's 18 who's on for Wicklow as well. That's Shifra Adams from Baltinglass, so she's in. 2 Laois substitutes. I've told you who's gone off. I haven't told you who's come on yet because I haven't worked it out yet, but give me a second. 21 is in for Laois, and that is Anna Moore, a sister of Jane Moore, the midfielder. This is the fullback all the way up in the forwards. That's Donaher.
Number 18, Shifra Adams, replaces number 9, Sarah Delahunt. And a double Laois substitution. Number 7, Joyce Dunn, replaces number 2, Amy Potts. And number 21, Anna Moore, replaces number 11, Shifra Havel.
Don't know if you heard all that, but there might be a goal at the end of this, so we'll come to the finish of the substitutions in a second. Wicklow clear their lines, and You'd be looking for a number from 15 up, but it's actually number 7 who has come on. That's because Joyce Dunn was named in the starting lineup, but she's now in for Laois after 46 minutes of this game. This is good work by Amy Burke. Leaves it off well too, and Fox is there at the end of this. Might have to come back out. Keeley is there. She's going to have to use her, and she does. And Keeley gets a kick away. Now that is dropping in there dangerously, but the goalkeeper, Emer Barry, unruffled. 47 minutes gone. 5-2 to 7. A one-sided game in these quarterfinals. Wexford have beaten Tyrone quite convincingly too. And Roscommon have beaten Laois. Had about 6-7 points to spare. And Clare have beaten Longford by quite a lot. So one-sided games. Fitzgerald's going for her score, but Winders just applied a little bit of pressure at the last minute, and it goes wide. But the semi-finals look absolutely tantalising. It's going to be Clare against Laois, and on the other side it's going to be Roscommon against Wexford. They also met in the Division 3 league final. So it's coming down to 4, and it's going to be very, very interesting. So much quality at intermediate level. Fitzgerald leaving it off, and Fitzpatrick is in behind her. If she gets it, she does get it, and she puts it over the bar rather than under, and she spares Wicklow's blushes there by just taking the point. It's 5-11 to 7. 19-point lead for Laois. And when you think about the game against Wexford where they lost an 11-point lead, it might have been the best thing that happened to them. They've really come on a lot since then. That's great work by Moore and Nerney, setting up the substitute, setting up 2 of the substitutes actually. And she is blown for over carrying there. That's Maher after getting the ball from Anna Moore. I wonder if Kinch will fancy another vacation from the goal area, and she does. Likes to give and go, and why not at this point? Anne gets it back, and she'd love to go forward, but the referee says a freeze. Takes it quickly anyway, but it's intercepted by Maher. Looks for her fellow substitute, Anna Moore. She comes inside, gives it to Ellen Healy. It's Emma Lawler, number 14, chasing the ball, but the ball wins. Another substitution for Laois, and it's 22 coming on for Laois now, and that is Claire Conlon from Sarsfields. And it looks like Sarah Ann Fitzgerald is going to get a rest.
Number 15, Sarah Ann Fitzgerald.
Another chance of a goal for Laois getting in behind, and it's a soccer style goal and a soccer style finish, and Mo Nerney applies a Leo Messi finish with her left foot after good work on the left, and it's, would you believe, a 6th goal after 50 minutes for Laois. They have been fantastic today. They have been unstoppable. That's 6 goals today, and that I make it 26 goals this year in games for Laois. They really have been free scoring, and there might even be more. Here's the substitute Moore, and she takes her point as well and makes it 6-12. So in 2022, just to complete that statistic, in 9.5 and a little bit more games, 26 goals for Laois. Two 14s battling for it. Laura Hogan. Oh, and it's been intercepted because there's going to be another goal with Fitzpatrick. I'm not sure she meant to do that by her reaction, but it looked like she was taking a point, but she had all the time in the world there to go through and take another goal, but it's a point instead. 6-13 to 7. This is Lucy Dunn, number 4. And that's a free for Wicklow. to be taken by number 10, Niamh Cullen. She looks inside to Gorman. Finding it hard to find any way up the pitch, Wicklow, and again it's Laois just too sharp all over the pitch. Over carrying against Moore. Just a little bit harsh, I have to say. Hogan leaves it off. Now, has Clodagh Fox got a trick or two? 7 points on the board. Referee's got a trick or two as well. Trying to get out of the way, trying to evade the Fox. This is Gorman. On her right foot, and this is going to sky off her right foot and go to the right, but the referee says there was an infringement before that, so he's going to bring it back for a free for Wicklow. 52.5 minutes gone. Makes it clear that it was a push. Taking a few notes as well. And that's Marie Keeley. On their All-Ireland winning championship run last year, she scored 38 points. No goals, but 38 points. And there's another one. That takes Wicklow to 8 points today. There's a call from the crowd. Keep it here, Wicklow, but it's a little bit half-hearted, to be honest. It's been a tough day for Wicklow. And to be fair, they have only really come up this year from junior. They won the junior last year, and it takes time, I think, to get used to the intermediate level. It is so competitive. But it could be very interesting next year at junior with Down and Sligo going down there. Could have a change, could be, well, will be a different look to the junior championship. But Wicklow finding it very tough going at intermediate. They did have some good wins this year. They beat Leitrim in the intermediate championship and they beat Offaly. But they're getting well soundly beaten today. And the punishment is not over yet because Maher is going off looking for another score and picks off a score. It's a sign of a player who wants a starting place in the semi-finals. 6-14 plays 8 points. That's 32 plays 8. 24-point lead. A chastening lesson for Wicklow. And it's a free against them now as well. I think maybe the hand was up. They penalise that now. It's one of the newer things that has been brought in, or maybe it's just been enforced a little bit more when you put the hand off to keep a player away. So the defender there with the ball, but then pushing a player away. So that's seems to be what happened there. Substitution for Laois. 20 on for 13, and number 20 is Alana Havel, sister of Shifra, at number 11.
Substitution on the Laois team, number 20, Alana Havel, replaces number 13, Mo Nerney.
And it's Nerney getting a rest. This is Lawler with the kick, and puts it over perfectly. 6:16 to 6:16 rather. Well, 6:16 on our scoreboard, 6:15 on the ground, but maybe they haven't quite caught up. That's what happened in the first half. I checked with the referee, David Herson, at half-time, and we were correct during the first half. And they managed to get up to date after he pointed it out to them. So maybe that's the case again, or maybe they're right this time, but it's certainly a lot in it. David Herson's going to hop that because of the reaction from Cullen. The referee explaining now exactly why it was given. Really good performance from the referee today. Herson hops it. Falls kindly for McGettigan. Still on the ball, turns well inside, but Alan Healy stands up, the number 18 for Wicklow, that's Byrne. But Byrne still on the ball, gives it to her full forward Hogan. She deserves a little bit more for her efforts today. Fox is there, she's had a lot of ball, and she, I think, is, well, I thought it was a free, but I'm not quite sure what the signal is. No, yeah, it is a free. 6:15 to 8 on the scoreboard on the ground it remains, but we have it 6:16. Don't think it makes a lot of difference at this point. Just over 3 minutes to go, and Wicklow really just need the agony to end. Kick from Keeley goes to the left and wide. Emer Barry now. And that's going to go over the line or to Wicklow, one of the two, or both. So many good performances for Laois today. Quite hard to pick a player of the match. But I think I might be tempted to go for Ellen Healy at centre half back. Great performance by her. Jane Moore would have run that extremely close. She's had a great game. And where do you go with the forwards? Sarah Ann Fitzgerald involved in just about everything up there, especially early in the game when they did so much damage. But all of the forwards there, Havel, Fitzpatrick, Lawler, Nairney, they were all excellent today. Really attractive team to watch, as I said at the start of the broadcast. Wicklow with Byrne. Outnumbered and outfought there. Gotland, or rather Rachel Williams, number 5. The other number 5 has it, and now this is Maher. There's a nice ball into the forwards as well, and the substitute turns beautifully there. That was the number 22, Conlon, and she left it off, and the other substitute finished it. Number 20, Alana Havel, gets on the score sheet, and that was lovely football again. And how much the managers will love to see that, the subs coming on and having a field day there and scoring some nice points. Although it has to be said, there's a lot of room out there now as well. But still, the subs putting their hands up for a place in the semi-final. A little bit of room here for Niamh Cullen to run into. Gorman takes it off now, and that's Gorman from Tinnahealy. She's had a good game as well, certainly has done her best, but a lot of these runs have been down blind alleys, and she's not had an awful lot of support, or has found it difficult to find them. Such has been the pressure from the defenders, and then they've had to give passes like that let the defence jump in. Laois just so good today. And that's good work as well by number 21, Anna Moore. And this is her sister Jane. Comes back for a free for Laois, and the referee makes a tick as well. We're in the last 10 seconds of normal time. So 4 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second for Laois. Tugging the jersey there from one number 8 to the other. Anna Healy gives it to Lawler. Lawler puts it in, and it's bounced kindly, as it has done very often today for Laois. 3 substitutes involved. And this is Conlon, and she's foul there, and the referee not happy with that challenge, and he will want a word. He's gone straight to his book, and more importantly, the number 22, Conlon, is getting to her feet. I think we have another substitution being made in added time, so a quick run out here, and it's the number 13 going off. That's Burke, being replaced by 17 for Wicklow. So Rena McGettigan from St Patrick's in Wicklow Town. She's a sister of Niamh McGettigan. In fact, there was another sister who played last year as well. That's 3, and the oldest of the 3, Niamh, is the number 8 out there today. That looks nicely judged, but I think it's just gone to the left. That's unlucky by Claire Conlon. Sun's come out for the end of the game. 62nd minute. Plain sailing for Laois. Kinch goes low with the kick out, and that is close. And good pressure being exerted even at the end. Again, that's a sign of a team, you know, there's a semi-final coming up, trying to impress right to the end, even when they're so far ahead. But Wicklow managed to break out. This is a good move, actually, if they can transfer it again. That's Fox, but the final whistle goes, and it is Laois with 6 goals who go forward to the semi-finals, and they complete the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate semi-final lineup, because they will play Clare, and on the other side it's Roscommon against Wexford. What a performance by Laois. 4 goals in the first half, 3 in the first 10 minutes, and they just kept going and going, and they have put on a really impressive performance that will make all of the other contenders have a look around. It's a wide open championship, you have to say, and it's going to be very, very interesting in the semi-finals. But today was one-sided. It was all Laois. They have beaten Wicklow. Wicklow won the junior championship last year, and this year they have been roundly and soundly beaten in the intermediate championship, though they did have a few good wins as well. But today they just came up against a machine in Laois, who I think have learned a lot from their 11-point turnaround against Wexford. Very, very impressive today, and they have won this with 6 goals, bringing it to 26 goals in their 10 games in the championship so far this year, and they have more to come. So that's it from Kinnegad. 2 games here today. That's the second one, ended in a big win for Laois. We hope you have enjoyed all of the coverage. For now, though, from the whole live stream team, it's goodbye.